19th of July, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
Good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here. Yeshiva Tavanavshi here. We're trying here on Zoom. This is our second thing in the morning. We're learning Mr. Berura. Hilda's Tisha B'Av, Simin Kaf Kuf Nun. Okay. We left off in the Mr. Berura. I think we did up to Sif Cut and Hay in the Mr. Berura, if I'm not mistaken. And then let's just reread the Mechaber and the Ramah, and then we'll continue on with the Elliot. Would you like to read that today?
Sure. Hakol chayavin letanos arba somos halalu. We also pour it together. Everybody is chayav to do these fasts, and you shouldn't, I guess, look for heterim to get out of it. How would you tights pour it together? It's not to break the wall, but it really means to look for ways not to do it.
Right. I mean, as the Mishnah Berurah explained, that since this was a Kabbalah that was made for the Klal Yisrael, so a person might think that it's not, meaning it's something that's still in our Rishus. I mean, previously, as the Mishnah Berurah explained, at the time of the Chazal, it was somewhat of a Rishus. It depended if there were desires upon Klal Yisrael or not. But in our time now, it's now become a chiyuv, right? And a person shouldn't think that since it's not such a strong chiyuv, he has rishus to look, as you said, for excuses not to fast. Right.
Okay. Umihu, uboros minikim she mitstaros harbe. Ein lasanis. The women who are pregnant and women who are nursing who are suffering greatly don't have to fast. Vafilu enon mitstaros. Even if they're not suffering, they're not required to fast. But we have the minhag to be machmir about this. B'dafka begimel Thomas, specifically on Asar B'Teves, Tzom Gedalia, and Shivas Arba Tammuz. About Tisha B'Av, Mechuyeves l'Hashlim, K'lakamam Simin Tafkuf Nandalid Sif Hey. But on Tisha B'Av, it's a requirement for everybody to fast all day, as we will see later on. The Mishnah Berurah Hey. Excuse me. Elish Nachmil Hakmir. We are knowing to be strict. Bimheim Chalushos, if they're weak. Okay, Nira de'en lahem lahachmir. Then it appears that we shouldn't. It seems to me that we shouldn't be strict. Mikol makom achat tzarich le'achol lo yisaneg atzmo basar v'yayin. Even if somebody has to eat, they shouldn't feast on meat and wine. Rakfi ma shetzarich, just to eat what they need to sustain themselves. V'kein katanim sheyesh lahem das lehis abel, and similarly, children who have the knowledge in order to be able to fast. Even though they're not required to fast, even a boy who's 12 years old, a few batanis shows, even for a short number of hours, it's proper to teach them that they're not to eat. Just enough to sustain themselves. Lahem. Lechem amayim, bread and water, or shar michael pashat lefi hatinuk, or other plain foods according to the child. Kadesha yisalbu im hatzibur, that they are mourning with the congregation.
Right. So the children until they're bar mitzvah, they're not supposed to fast. Even tiny shows, right? But nevertheless, they should be mechanech them. That's a fast day, and that's why you're not going to have all the goodies you usually have on the regular days of the week. Okay.
Okay. Okay, bays. Somos
Yep.
halalu hutz Tisha B'Av. These fasts, except for Tisha B'Av, mutaris berachitza, v'sicha, v'ntilas asando, v'tashmish v'mita. It is mutter to wash and to anoint and to wear leather shoes and to have marital relations. Ve'ein tzarich lahafsik b'hem mebodom. You don't have to refrain from them while it's still daytime. Okay, Mishnah Berura. We turn berachitza, it's mutter to wash v'chulu. The v'shah sherotzu kiblu alehem litzom. We call arba tanios. At the time they wanted to accept them upon themselves all of these 4 fasts. Lo kiblu alehem shiu b'chomer tanit sibur b'tisha b'av. They did not accept upon themselves that these other 3 would be as strict as Tisha B'Av is.
Right. So in the original decision,
Takana,
right? They never put in the stringencies of Tisha B'Av on these 3 other fasts.
Because most of the congregation would not be able to stand it.
Right.
About nefesh,
If we had Tisha B'Av Tainesim 4 times of the year, people would become very dispirited about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ubal nefesh yachmir b'kulan k'mo Tisha B'Av. And somebody who, how would you touch bal nefesh? Is it somebody?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that somebody who's heavy?
No, bal nefesh is a person who gives priority to his spiritual needs and aspirations rather than his physical needs.
Okay. So somebebody bal nefesh is
spiritually inclined.
Spiritually inclined should be strict on himself on all of these, like Tisha B'Av. Elashim chal leil tvila yikayim onaso. But if it turns out to be the night that his wife had to go to the mikvah, then he should have relations with her.
Right.
Okay. The gam the
This is on Tisha B'Av we're talking about?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry?
When does this apply? He has relations with her on Tisha B'Av?
No, on the other 3. Even if
Oh,
somebody's
the other
mocking
3.
on even if somebody's mocking on himself to treat the other 3 like Tisha B'Av, if it turns out to be the night his wife's going to the mikvah, he should still have relations with her.
Right.
The gam nilsa sandal yalachme mishum chova u itlula, and similarly wearing shoes. We're not machmir on that because what's chucha itlula?
Hukla means it'll be unusual and a reason for scoffing. See, when they didn't wear shoes, they walked around barefoot. They walked around barefoot, right? Not like we have all kinds of shoes, tennis shoes, deck shoes, or Crocs, all kinds of different stuff, right? So if a person would be walking around barefoot, it would look very unusual and be a source of derision and scorn.
Okay.
Right. So therefore, they're not machmir. Even a person wants to be machmir, he shouldn't do that. Maybe look in his house. In his house, he can walk around without shoes if he wants. But like coming to shul and walking into the marketplace and that stuff, he shouldn't do that.
And similarly, if a Sar B'Teves comes on Shabbos, ein lahachmir b'rechitza b'chamin mipnei kavod Shabbos, and we're not strict about washing in warm water because of the kavod of Shabbos. You want to take a shower before Shabbos comes. Being sarech L'hafsik behem b'modom. Don't have to interrupt them during the day while it's still day. K'mo Tisha B'Av, where we start the restrictions slightly before nightfall.
Right.
But it's mutter on the other three to eat and drink at night.
Very good.
Questions?
That's like it.
Okay. Gimel. Kol abrat somos halalu im halalios b'Shabbos nichela la'achar Shabbos. On all these four fasts, if they occur on Shabbos, they push off till the day after Shabbos. Hagav im halu be'erev Shabbos. They fall on erev Shabbos. Kohen b'shachris mincha vayachal. We read on Shachris and Mincha erev Shabbos vayachal. Yesh chuppah b'yom hatanis be'erev Shabbos. There's a wedding on the day of the Tanis on its erev Shabbos. Nogim hispalo mincha v'likros vayachalel v'achachach osin hachuppah. Then you daven mincha first, and then you have the chuppah. V'ayin la'el simen reish mem tes sif daled im mishalman hatanis. Whether or not you finish the fast or not. So you can get married on the Tanis. I've never heard that one before.
It used to be a minhag that they would have chasanas on
Friday
erev-
afternoons, right? Because then they would use the Shabbos Suda as one of the Sheva brachas, right?
Right. But
Okay.
I remember they were recently there. Within the last 5 years, I remember going to a chasana on erev Shabbos. Because the chasana calls
Are
were
full.
giving people a break if they, it was for people who have difficulty with the expenses. So they made the chasana. They gave them breaks. The chasana calls would give them at the very, fraction of the price that they normally would charge if they would do it on erev Shabbos. So
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mishna Berura. Kol Abba Samos. All these four fasts. Kol Avdafa. All is not specific. They're not exact. The Lolam Ain Asar B'Teves called b'Shabbos because the Asar B'Teves itself can never occur on Shabbos. Kamosha Kasuv Simin Tafchaf Ches Sif Beis. Nidchin La'achar Shabbos to push off till after Shabbos. V'lo Kodem, and you don't make it earlier. The Akdume Peronios Lomis Makdimin. We don't move suffering up if we can help it.
Right.
Because erev Shabbos, if the Tanis falls on erev Shabbos, Hari Lishna Gamkein Lav Dafka. This is also not Lav Dafka. The Kol Abertonios Gamkein Yeshli Lachol Berev Shabbos. That's not true because Sorbet Teves does come out on erev Shabbos. Lefia Kavus HaMavor Le'el B'Simen Tafchaf Ches Ki Ima Sorbet Teves B'Vad, except for Sorbet Teves itself. That's the only one that can occur erev Shabbos. B'Shachris and Mincha Vayachal, and Shachris Mincha read Vayachal. Who had din the Omer Hashliach Sibur Anenu Bein Goel L'Rofe Aval Ein Omrim Vidui Mitzvahs Kapayim B'Mincha Lefi Shehu Erev Shabbos. But we don't say Vidui and Tachanu and Erev Shabbos because Erev Shabbos. Probably don't say Avinu Malkeinu either.
Probably not.
Because of this, Ein Lasos Erev Shabbos Yom Kippur Katan on Erev Shabbos. You don't say Yom Kippur Katan. Boim Rosh Chodesh, Be'im Rosh Chodesh B'Shabbos. If Rosh Chodesh is on Shabbos. Gim B'Yom Chamishi Shalafonov, I guess on the Yom Chamishi that was before it, the Vishain Lomer Slichos Gam V'Gam Viduim B'Erev Shabbos B'Mincha. I guess you would do the Yom Kippur Katan on Thursday because on Shabbos, Erev Shabbos, we don't do Vidui and we don't do we Slichos and Vidui Erev Shabbos by Mincha.
Right, that's what they do. Yeah.
After you have a mincha, you make the chuppah. The aser oz hachasan lishtos mikos shel bracha kif shehu adayin mibod yom. But the chasan can't drink from the cup. I assume the kala also can't drink from the cup of wine under the chuppah because it's still a tinus. Elinosin latinok lishtos, but you give it to a child to drink. Uvenitcha yachol hachasan lishtot mikos shel bracha, And if the day is pushed off, it's possible for the chassan to drink for the kos of bracha. V'chein lechol lishos acher, and then he can eat and drink afterwards. V'ayin lekaman v'simen tafkov samar beis sif beis im ha ta'anim hu rak machmas atzmo shehu hisna'e b'yom zeh.
Take over there. Im hetainus hu rak machmas atzmo shu musar yom zeh ein tzorach lahashlim. That's I think it's referring to the fact that the chassid is fasting.
But he doesn't have to, but once he's drunk, he doesn't have to finish the fast.
That's usually when they break their fast. They custom call it have a minute to fast on the day of the chasana.
Chasana, right? And they break the fast after the chuppah.
Right.
Or during the chuppah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what this is referring to here.
V'chein kishachal echad me ha-tzomos b'toch shevish me chuppah. And if if one of the fasts falls during the Sheva brachas, Yashlim Tanisa, then you will complete the fast. Aval yard site ain't tzarich lisanos b'toch Shiva Yemei Chuppah, but a yard site does not have to fast during the 7 days of Sheva brachas. Even also besula o bachar almana. If he marries a virgin or a man marries a bachar who hadn't been married before marries a widow. So one of them is chayav in 7 days of Sheva brachas. Okay. Daled. B'Shabbos kol mitzon machrichen shliach tzibur hatzom. On Shabbos before the fast, the shliach tzibur mentions the fast. Kusmi Tisha B'av v'Tzom Kippur v'Tzom Purim, except for Tisha B'av and Yom Kippur and Tanis Esther, v'Simonach Achaf Alav Pihu. I don't know what this is. I don't know what he's saying.
How do you remember which days that you don't make the announcement? I guess that's Av, Kippur, and Purim. Aleph for Av, Tisha B'Av, Chaf for Yom Kippurim, and Pei for Purim. Those days.
But what does it mean? What does it mean? Makriz Makriz Hashlik Tzibur Hatzom.
So if you remember before we have after Sukkot and after Pesach we have the Tanyas Baham, right? So if you remember on Minhag on the Shabbos before we begin the Tainesim after the Kriyas Torah, before they put the Torah back, there's a short announcement that's made in terms of the fastings that will be taking place on Bahab. I would imagine they would also make these announcements at that time as well.
Okay, he mentioned he did say something in shul about Shavasa B'Tammuz. I didn't quite understand what he was saying. It was again after laning. The Shliach Tzibur said something. So I've never seen it outside of Israel. In the States, I don't ever remember doing it.
I'm not sure if I don't think that we normally mention it.
Well, I was diving in a new Edus Mizrachi shul, so it could be.
You look at the Mishna Berura, not the Mishna Berura. Look at the Mechaber and the Ramah. The Mechaber has a Ramah meaning like this, but the Ashkenaz Minig Ashkenaz Shalohis Shum Echad.
Okay, so that would explain it.
So that we don't do this. We do it by Bahab. But these other ones, our Minig apparently is not like that of the Mechaber. But true, if you daven in a Edus Mizrach minion, then they probably follow the opinion of the Mechaber in general.
Yep.
And they would probably do it.
Yeah, he did say something. I wasn't quite paying attention to it. I just heard the mention of Shavasa B'Tammuz.
Right.
I was that's interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
Okay. That brings us to Pakuf Nun
Somebody else can read. I did my Simon.
Well, we only have about 2 minutes. So, we can have, look, when you have to repeat this anyway. Um, so, could read the Machaber maybe. Just read the Machaber and we could maybe do the Mr. Brewer on that.
So you want to read?
Tafkun and Aleph, we're in.
Yep.
Okay, Shemignas of Mima'atin. Pardon?
Just the Machaber. We don't have time for more than that. Just
Yeah, that's
the
what I'm reading.
Yeah.
Shemignas of Mima'atin b'simcha. So when Av enters, we lessen the happiness. Uvar Yisrael the eat leidina behadei nachri. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, what if a Jew has a what is it? A lawsuit, I guess,
Yeah.
against a non-Jew. Timit mine deri mizaleg. I guess he should postpone it because he might have might lack mazel, I guess.
It's not gonna have an advantage during these times. So we'll see the Mr. Bird tomorrow, Mr. Shem. And okay, very
All
good.
right.
Everyone should have a good
Right,
afternoon.
very
We'll
good.
see you tomorrow.
Yeshkayach,
Thank you.
Have a
Lauren.
good day.
Thank you all. Very good.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, man.